Alright, so this is my Diormal East Thorium Run. You've probably seen a lot of videos that have demonstrated this on YouTube. I think a lot of them, at least the ones I've watched before, were from WoW Classic, so most people were level 60 and probably had pretty good gear on, especially, whether they be mages or hunters, probably raiding gear. So if you are playing right now and you're level 60 or above level 60, it might be a little easier because we have some better gear. Even if we didn't go to a raid, we'll be able to get some pretty decent gear. Maybe some nature protection gear, which I use for the last boss. And I'm sure looking this up, you already know that the idea of this is to kind of do a jump run where you basically just have to kill Zevrim so that you can get the, what's his name? The big tree guy, I forgot his name, to bust down the door so you can get to the final boss. You can either kill him or cheese him to below 50% to get the tunnel to open, to get the imps to come out, so you can get into that tunnel, feign death or vanish, whatever it be, and get to that thorium. Um, but in this case, so my hunter is level 70, I use nature protection gear for the last boss. For Zevrim, I have slightly different gear also. It doesn't really matter. You probably do all this with the same gears, just I try I I kind of micromanage a little bit only because I kind of want to have as consistent as a run as possible, and I don't really want to have to die too many times. But being level 70, I've never died yet. Actually, I think I did die once. I think because they caught me. I got dazed near the end, and um, no, actually, I feigned death, and they didn't fall for it. The imps killed me. So yeah, that can happen. But that's only happened once. Otherwise, this is the run. I'll put some of the maybe some of my gear in the description, but maybe for some people who have much better gear, maybe even raiding gear already, you probably already know how to do this anyway, and don't even need to watch this. So here it is. It's a thorium run. I've already reset the instance, I think. So here we go. All right, we're in. I just go straight in with cheetah. Most mobs in here, if you're level 70, are already gray, so I don't even really worry too much about things like that. You take fall damage, please take note of that. I mean, it's a jump run, so. I like to zoom out sometimes just to see everything, but again, they're gray. Just kind of zigzag around them if you get into a bind. Hunters, we have feign death. We don't have to worry too much. Okay, I'll turn on my track hidden. Some people throw flares to kind of find those invisible goat boys, demon boys. I usually just use track hidden. See if I can see on my mini map. See, yep, he is. He's walking in. You could probably get away just running by him, but it doesn't always work. Sometimes there's that millimeter distance where he decides he does see you after all. So, yeah, just go as you would. You could actually go here. Even if the plant opens, usually nothing even happens to you. Even if plants spawn in, they don't really attack you. They've never attacked me when those plants spawn in. Could be because of my level. So keep that in mind depending what level you are. So here we go. I wish I could herb so I can get those ghost mushrooms so I can collect. Take out my pet here because I do kill one mob usually. I always kill this guy because I just hate dealing with having to pass them and feign death. There are videos where doing the run, people just run straight through and at a certain point they feign death, vanish or whatever, and they get rid of all the mobs that way. But I don't think it's necessary. I guess if you want to do super fast run as possible, But I think it's an advantage to kill at least that guy. Because look, you can get fell cloth. And you can, get some dried king boleti. You can get some rune cloth. Yeah, why do I care about the mushrooms and stuff? Because I don't like to bring too much with me because I'm doing thorium runs. So, that's why, like, if they can drop some food, I'll eat those to heal my fall damage and stuff. I'll eat those first. I don't know, that's my mentality of, I don't know, of being cheap, or I don't know what it is, but that's that's why I just killed that guy. And yeah, fell cloth, that's nice. Alright, so at this point I take my pet out. I use him like some hunters do as maybe like a failsafe in case I do get sacrificed. At this level and this health, I don't usually get killed by sacrifice, but just so it doesn't drag out too long, I have my pet just attack him and even intimidate him if I'm on the table to get him off of me. So I put him here. Please don't forget to put him on stay. You know, I've forgotten that sometimes. That's not good. To keep him on stay. And now that I'm here, I'll make sure I switch to the set that I need, and then I'm just gonna eat a little bit. So, yeah. At first, I think this was the most challenging part for me, and then I think probably even more so, yeah, more so than the final boss, because I'm not really good, like, like hand-eye coordination going back and forth, but with practice, I was able to do a little bit better. So now it's, not too hard, especially being level 70. So if you're level 70, this would be much easier for you. I usually put a immolation trap there. That's where it ends up going. Switch to aspect of the hawk. Target. Everything here. I turn on a attack power trinket. And go. Get a couple of attacks off of him. Let him hit that immolation trap. Okay, so touch this wall so that he can reset. See, I'm watching my mini-map because I'm too short, I can't see him. So I'm looking at my mini-map to make sure he runs back all the way over there. Make sure you keep Serpent Sting up. The great thing is that we have Steady Shot, which we didn't have that in Classic WoW. Now that we have Burning Crusade, Hunters get this neat attack. He's at half health. I usually send my pet in at that point just to kind of help him burn him down a little bit more. He rarely ends up fearing my cat, so it's never a big issue. I think he fears. I think he's done it before. Okay, so touch the wall. Make sure you touch the wall. It doesn't work just to hide behind it. That only works to line of sight his sacrifice. Okay, there. So he's dead. And my cat went back to his... Kind of went back, except quarter of his body is in the cement there. So yeah, you've seen it probably in many videos already that you line of sight him using this. I used to use Cheetah to kind of be fast enough to do it, but once you get used to it, I don't think you'll even need to do that. It's the cast time, you get used to it and you just go behind. But if you want him to reset, you're gonna have to, what I found was you really have to touch the wall. You can't just go here and expect him to reach this point, then run all the way back over here. You gotta touch this wall to get him to reset. And like I showed there, I send my pet out when he's like half health just to help me do DPS and yeah, burn him down faster. So he's dead. At this point, sometimes I switch to my mana regen set. Just allow int, so because aspect of the Viper goes off your, you can see it there, 55% of intellect and 35% of my level every 5 seconds. So it says equal to up to 55%, so it's probably not always 55%, but it's something. You could just kind of chill here or watch a video if you want to, and fully regen your mana if you need to. Oh, what you should actually do, which I don't think I did, I forgot because I was talking, you should dismiss your pet. So I think because I have him on stay, he'll probably disappear. I don't know. But yeah, usually what you want to do, what I usually do, just to avoid any problems, is I dismiss him. You won't need him, or I don't need him again in the dungeon. You probably even don't need him for Zevran, but I like to use him to burn down fast or emergency rescue. Okay, here we go. So we go here, straightforward. You talk to Ironbark, that's his name. You talk to Ironbark. Yeah, everyone kind of knows this. You can make your way through. Sometimes you can time it perfectly where you just have to run through and no one's in your way. And that's nice. Okay. As you can tell, I'm not really like a hunter main. I love hunter, especially discovering him more and more in TBC. I made my hunter in Classic WoW when it came out. So at some point, 2019, but I didn't really get into him too much until, yeah, closer to Burning Crusade. I really like it. It's fun. So my mana regen set on is still there. Probably switch to my final boss set, which it's just nature protection, a lot of nature protection. My chest is 30 nature resistance, sorry, nature resistance. I get resistance. Yeah, my jerkin of nature protection. I have this helm of nature resistance, which is Evrim drops sometimes. That's where I got it from. Fellstone gauntlets. I'll just probably put those items in the description if anyone's interested. So be careful here. Sometimes this guy over here, he's here, and even though he's gray, I found that sometimes I'll still aggro him, even though I'm just like, I'm probably at least 10 feet away. But yeah, you can feign death, but just as a precaution, sometimes if he's there, I just sit there with Aspect of the Viper on and use the time to regen my mana. Right, so I find coming here that it's easier for me to use Cheetah. What I found, at least for me, if I'm just going to run off, and I just run off without Cheetah, I sometimes just barely kind of hit the corner, and it's kind of scary. I don't want to end up falling all the way down. So I always have Cheetah, so I can just run off. For other classes, maybe you might have to jump, I don't know. Haven't tried it with another class in a while. So at this point, yeah, back to Viper. Set. Well, I have full mana, so I didn't need to do that, but go ahead and eat. Some people, they put their pets here. I don't. I think you could probably use the pet. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you can help do some DPS. If you have him on stay, at least. I guess you can use it for that. I'm not sure. I just wasn't comfortable with my pet being out here, because when I did try it, it ended up his aggro somehow transferred to me at some point, and it messed up the imps ended up following me into this tunnel. So I don't use my pet here. But otherwise, yeah, everyone knows if you're watching this that your goal is to get into that tunnel. The imps come out of that tunnel as soon as Alzin, Goatman over here, as soon as he reaches about like 49% or so, under 50%, the imps come out of this tunnel, and you see all the stones come out and everything. And you want the Goatman here, hopefully at least, what the goal is that you have him on the ground. What I do is the way I do it is I use this stone. I jump from that stone to this ledge, just to get him to pace back and forth from jumping here to the ledge and running down this way, and then going back down if I'm on the rock, going back down, and just having him being, just kind of kiting him almost back and forth, so that you can just grind him to below 50%. And when that happens, if he hits 49 or 48, the imps come out. It's best to have him on the ground when that happens, so that the imps and him can more or less get to the ledge about the same time, and the imps then outrun him so that they can, because the imps want to tear you apart, right? So they're going to come get you, and the last moment, you jump off over here. That's when I turn on my aspect of the cheetah. I run, I go inside the tunnel. So, and we'll see that happen, hopefully, if I don't mess up. And that's it. So I'm going to switch to, I keep my Viper aspect on during this fight nowadays. I'm pretty confident in my nature protection gear. I used to use aspect of the wild when I didn't have much nature protect gear, but I find it's fine for me to just keep Viper on so I can not worry too much about mana, because if one of his enervates still gets to me, it does help me, and I don't want to just constantly pop mana pots and stuff. Because you should know that enervate, and when he's in this form, he can cast enervate on you, and that will reduce your mana. I don't know what the rate is, but it's really annoying, and it drops a lot. And he can cast Wither, which is another nature ability he might cast, and that kind of, I think it takes about 2,000 health from you over a few seconds. I don't know, 12 or 10 seconds. That could be pretty annoying, so just be ready for that. So I actually have Jungle Remedy, because that when I get too annoyed by maybe like if he casts one, I could probably let one go. You know, it's 2,000 XP. But if he casts another one and it gets through, I'll probably use a Jungle Remedy just because I'm so annoyed by that. Otherwise, most of the time you could just resist it, especially if you're level 70, especially if you have gear. If you don't, make sure you use Aspect of the Wild, and you can always make sure you can line of sight his attacks too. Um, and other videos I see, there are people who are so good at that, where they just I can catch them casting it, but it's just a matter of me getting behind something to cut him off, and then getting back to my rock to get on here. I don't know if it's because I'm a dwarf and I'm short, but I don't know. I think it's harder for me to go from this point to that ledge. I think some people do that. It's harder for me to do that. I don't know why. So I use this rock. Okay. Anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Here we go. It's coming back. I usually like to wait, yeah, till he transforms before I let him come close enough to use to get that fire trap. Because I really still don't like getting that casting form, that goat form, too close to me because of those annoying nature casts. Okay, so when he's like this, I'm not as scared of him. But don't forget, in that wolf form, he has a bleed or some kind of slowing effect. That can mess up the last part when you have to jump off and kind of outpace those imps. So you can take your time here. You don't have to burst and like, you know, melt him down too fast. Just keep an eye on his percent. See, look, that wither actually went through. So I can let one go. Usually it's no big deal. I don't even care anymore. I used to, right when I saw that, I would, you know, I would line of sight him, but to me it's kind of wasting time to line of sight. Try to enervate too, see. Yep, go down there. So 49, 48. They should be coming out. There they are. So let me get on this rock. I want him down there when the imps come. There we go. Alright, there we go. So the imps are coming, imps are coming. Leaf. Tiger. I mean, cheetah. And there's a minimum distance here. I usually like to at least pass this rock. So they're gone. I've done it before where I was able to feign death like before this rock, like, you know, right over here. Haven't tested anything before that, but I have feigned death before hitting this rock, like around this point, and it works. Again, the one time I did die, I was in the safe zone, but, you know, they knew I wasn't dead. They knew I was faking it, and they killed me. But if that happens, that's fine. You just come back and you do the jump run. At least you've already killed everybody. You just have to jump down here and try it again. So there you go. That's it. You saw that process already of jumping from the rock to the ledge. That's what works for me. And you can do it you can do it much faster. You can melt them down much faster. I just like to conserve mana because I'll never know if he gets off one or two enervates on me. And to me, it's not worth the risk of having to release Spirit and run back here just because I didn't have enough mana to use Feign Death, or maybe my pots and everything was on cooldown for whatever reason, so I couldn't get off a Feign Death or something, or I was dazed. I don't want to risk too many things. So that's why, speaking of dazed, I do, like I mentioned, use cheetah mode when I jump off the ledge. I don't activate it and then run off because they might get that hit. Sometimes there's that thing where they can be 3 yards away and still hit you somehow and they'll daze you. So just be safe, make the safe calls. Um, and if you don't mind, if you want to do it really fast and don't mind one or two occasional death, then I mean, it's up to you. But I like to play it kind of safe, conserve my armor, my space, my bag space, I mean, and yeah, and that's it. This is a great way to get thorium. I've always wanted to do this kind. I always wanted to do a thorium run, and I'm happy I can do it now. I don't think doing this will ruin the thorium economy because I don't think everyone wants to do this. And frankly, even if it lowers the price of thorium, I think that's fine because you need like 400 something thorium to level blacksmithing, and then there's the other professions, and then you go to jewel crafting, where you may want thorium ore. So I think I don't think it's a bad thing to lower the price of thorium at least a little bit. On this server, thorium stacks of thorium bars and ores go for about 28 to 30 gold, and there's also, of course, those people who post singles for like 10 pages. So I think this wouldn't be a bad idea if a lot of people kind of got into it. Maybe it will eliminate the difficulties of purchasing those expensive thorium stacks on the auction house. Or it may have no effect at all. So anyway, that's the end of it. Don't forget to, if you're doing this constantly and over, don't forget to reset instances before you do it again. And that's it. So happy thorium hunting or thorium mining.